think we're sitting at a really interesting moment in technology right now where all the retailers are sort of waking up to this race in retail media and trying to get ahead or at least not fall behind. And then a lot of tech toolings are showing up to the point that it really doesn't often feel like an equal playing field. And we sort of see our role and with a lot of companies that sort of in the space as someone that's trying to bring the best tooling for these retailers to fight the good fight and really maintain their unique characters in the retail ecosystem and get to really monetize and get ahead with their data and by giving them the best tech in the infra form.
So retail media is often seen as an extension of trade marketing. Is that how you see it, or do you see it differently? And what's holding back a more strategic shift for them?
Yeah, that's a great question. It has been considered more as a form of trade marketing. However, I think that line is getting blurrier, and definitely everyone's sort of seeing and thinking that the next step would be that for it to go beyond just trade marketing. And our view is that it's time, right? And then it takes good technology and really players in the ecosystem to come together and sort of get to that next phase. And ultimately, I think retail media belongs in the same league as main brand dollars in sort of awareness. And we're hearing that more and more from brands and agencies as well. So that's an interesting, lots of conversations that are kind of centered around that.
So I believe you just announced 3 new AI-powered products. Tell me about one of them.
Yeah, for sure. I will talk about Topi, the retail media on-site ad exchange. So we hear a lot from retailers and brands alike that they're having, on the retailer side, they have a lot of issues around fill rates, around being able to attract budget, or sort of having this balance in terms of lots of resources going to serving the big brands, but not able to get to some of the mid-tier and long-tail brands. And then from the agencies and brand side, they feel this pain to be able to buy across different networks that are not standardized, hard to understand what they're buying and measure the results. And then to really solve that problem today with the toolings that we have in AI, you actually can do that, sort of make pattern out of data that's a little bit messy, that's not necessarily making sense at first glance. And then we have built a way to standardize and really unite a lot of retail media networks across different categories. And hopefully that's a step in the right direction to get us to go beyond just trade marketing, to your earlier question.
So Regina, I believe you started your own e-commerce company when you were, I think, still in college. So with all the hype around AI, having really defined how e-commerce connects to consumers these days, how are you in sort of thinking of your former life as a retailer yourself? How are retailers incorporating AI, or how should they incorporate AI?
Yeah, for sure. I think AI is still oftentimes now considered a bit far-fetched as a goal, or not super relatable in terms of applications for retailers, partially due to the cost as well and the performance and sort of understanding like how good will it be. And I think there's a level of hesitation around how in sync should they be with the earliest trends in AI. And then our goal is really to actually bring AI, especially predictive AI, to retailers in a way that makes sense for the retailer context. So that's performative, that's cost effective, and then truly it's also bringing them to, I think this is a great way for a lot of retailers who maybe felt a little bit behind in the previous waves to catch up, because they are really given the opportunity to think about, just like Google, kind of the inventor of the AI technology, they're able to actually predict the next word on the internet. Now retailers can predict the next move of the consumer, and all doing it in like a very privacy friendly and compliant way without it getting creepy at all. And I think that's sort of a very interesting challenge, and that's what we're excited about. And I think that's definitely like one thing to keep an eye on.
Regina, one last quick question. Cannes is pretty overwhelming and hectic every minute here, but I was wondering if there's been anything that's really just sort of like got you to stop and pause and just be inspired.
For sure. I've had some really great conversations this week, and the one theme that stands out as I sort of think about the past few days, it's definitely how much closer the programmatic world is getting to the retail media world. That's sort of a really interesting moment, and I think like it's actually sort of like so close that you sort of see that the tipping point is around there, and then we're excited about that.